Are you ready, Drew? Welcome to the first live episode, live audio recording
Let's go.
of this episode. We thought we'd take y'all's minds off the election, so you know, we're here to talk about college football. You don't need to worry about that freaking election.
No worries.
You don't need to worry about that freaking election at all.
We just talk ball, and that's about it. No stress.
Yeah, don't worry about any political advice from us. So
Yep.
we're just chilling right now. So.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about the first game that we talked about, Texas A&M, South Carolina. I'm just gonna bring that one to the forefront because that was simply embarrassing.
Listen, I don't think I've ever been more embarrassed in my life. That was a
Dude, that
you
was
know what whooping. Oh my lord. Woo.
awful. Just and sometimes upsets happen, but none of that magnitude. Upsets have been few and far between, or they've been a lot this year. We've had a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. No, that was really bad. Hey, on the bright side, at least we're not Arkansas, They lost 63-21 to Ole Miss. At least we're not in their position. Sorry, Arkansas fans, but
Oh man,
we could be in a way worse position.
no,
But
or Arkansas.
no, going back to that, I mean, we couldn't do anything. I saw one play where we missed 3 tackles on one play, or maybe it was 5. It was something like that. It was crazy, and I think we gave up over 500 yards of offense, which is horrible.
Yes,
You know
crazy, crazy, crazy.
yeah, that was a butt whipping for sure.
Oh yeah,
For
but
sure.
I sort of want to take the focus off of your Aggies, and let's focus on the other games we focused on. You can only put one foot in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, one of the premier games, I guess, for that weekend was Ohio State and Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
which you know they don't have an offense. Does Penn State? they they can't score a touchdown. They can't get out of their own way.
It's just certainly interesting.
Yeah. No, Ohio State. And the thing is, Penn State, like Ohio State, gave Penn State multiple chances. It's just that Penn State couldn't answer. Like that touchback that Will Howard fumbled the ball at the goal line. That was an opportunity because it was a touchback. They got the ball inside the 20, and it didn't. They couldn't answer any opportunities they were given.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And I chose Ohio State to win this game, and that was the very reason I chose them to win, because I thought they were going to be able to win the turnover battle. And in recent history, when Penn State gets in those big games against whether it's Michigan, Ohio State, or whoever, they always seem to come up empty-handed, and that was another example.
Very, very unfortunate
Yeah,
for Penn State. They had every opportunity to win that game.
they sure did. Yeah.
That offense, that is certainly a unique offense when you have linemen lined up as receivers coming in motion to block. That's probably some of the funnest offense I've seen, especially as a former lineman myself.
Yeah. Did you see that interception in the end zone?
Dude,
Dude, that was
I
crazy.
don't know how he caught that.
That was great.
I
I was shocked
really
when I saw that.
don't know how he caught it.
I don't know. I don't either. That was incredible.
Mm-hmm. I'm still confused on how he caught it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you know what's funny? I think I heard there was around 110,000, or it was that, or 108,000
record numbers.
that
Record.
attended that game, and it was that was funny.
And it comes to a point with James Franklin.
Yeah.
Is he the man for the job?
Yeah, and I think something he said interesting in his press conference was he understands the expectation, he understands Ohio State's expectations, but you can't just talk about what the expectations are. You got to go,
You got to live up to him.
yeah, you got to go win. And they
Otherwise, someone else is going to take your job.
right.
I mean,
And
look at
so
the Indiana dude could probably go take your job right now. Look at what he's doing right now. 9-0.
yeah. Or Matt Rule.
Yeah, anybody can take that, dude. I mean, I think the Penn State job is for once up for grabs.
Yeah. I don't
Because
think I don't think I don't think the Nittany Lions would make that move just because I mean, I don't know. I still think Penn State, though, when looking at their schedule, it's a favorable schedule for them. So even if if their only losses to Ohio State, right, they can still go 11-1. Maybe not make the Big Ten championship necessarily, but then could be in the playoff conversation
yeah,
for
being
sure.
at large, like an 8-9 seed, maybe.
Yeah,
Totally available for them to go into the playoffs.
right.
Another game we covered is a blowout. SMU in Pittsburgh. SMU was very explosive on
Yeah,
offense. Put up 50 plus points of offense.
yeah. You chose SMU when we predicted this game. I didn't see that coming at all. I
No,
did not. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever.
crazy outcome. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
52. I think he was like 52-17. Very one sided. SMU showed they're a playoff contender.
They are. Um, it was 48-25, but that was a very impressive win.
Man, all those rigid donors are really helping out now, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, for
To bringing
sure.
it back to the days where they got the death penalty. But now it's legal, so throw, you can throw money at the problem, and everything is going to be fine.
I was
Slap a
about
little
I was about to say all the NIL deals now that kind of knocks that out of the way.
slap a little cash on the wound, and you're great.
Yeah, that's right.
It's raining money over there in Dallas.
It sure is. Well, and think about this too. Clemson lost in the ACC.
Dude, I saw
Pitt
that.
lost. So in Miami right now, I believe is the only undefeated ACC team right now. And so, like we said last week, um if SMU they don't have a Clemson, they don't have a Miami to finish out the year. So if they can win out, they have a very legit shot at making it the ACC championship, taking on, in my opinion, Miami, who I think will make it. But
It's gonna be one heck of a game when they play, if they play.
yeah, but
I
no,
think,
SMU is in a really good position. And then for Pitt, I think like Penn State, it was a big missed opportunity. I still think they have a chance to get into the playoffs if they can win out. The only thing about that is, um, depending on their strength of schedule, because if
yeah,
you know,
SMU has all these teams in the ACC. SMU is obviously a beatable team.
yeah,
They're not, they're not, not amazing, but they're doing the right things.
they're finding ways to win.
Their quarterback is playing phenomenal.
Right.
When they didn't know their quarterback situation
Mm-hmm.
going into the season,
Right. Yeah.
and now that they've sort of figured out their quarterback, he sort of righted the ship.
Mm-hmm. They sure are, and they're being really successful right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's their first year in the dang ACC, and they're doing better than what people thought, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that race in the ACC is very interesting. Um, I was very shocked by Clemson's outcome against Louisville, and then
Yeah, that was very
yeah,
one-sided.
and then Miami taking care of Duke at home. Cameron Ward, man, he's lining up the show again.
Yeah, keep in mind they were in that game. Duke was in that game for a
Yeah,
really long time,
yeah.
and we thought, man, there's an upset alert going on here.
Well, I
Cam
think
Ward,
yeah, and I believe Duke was up at halftime.
They were up by 11 at one point.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Yeah.
Cam Ward and the comeback kids pulled it off.
Well, the guy threw for 400 yards, and I believe either 3 or 4 touchdowns.
I
The
mean,
kid's he's unreal.
if he's a Heisman candidate, he shouldn't be getting into these situations in the first place. He should be whooping teams.
Yeah.
He
Well,
should be
well,
dominating, like
well
2019 Joe Burrow.
yeah. Well, and watching their defense isn't. It's not like their offense where they're super high. They haven't been doing as well as the offense has, but they're still doing what they need to do. You know.
Yeah. And Cam Ward, just he's always going to be an interesting story.
Right.
With his off season,
Right.
declaring for the NFL draft and then entering the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of mess going on there with him.
Yeah. Right.
And I think the other game that we covered, the main marquee matchup, was Iowa and Wisconsin. How it says a weird week for college football matchups, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sure was.
Well, it's definitely a weird week for college football that week. They put up 42 points.
Yeah. Yeah. And
4 rushing touchdowns across the board for
yeah,
Iowa's offense.
that was pretty incredible.
1A, Caleb Johnson is definitely doing some of the same things we see Ashton Jeanty doing
Mm-hmm.
in college football right now. And
Yeah.
speaking of Ashton Jeanty and his Broncos, they're ranked pretty well in the playoff poll that released today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. If you didn't have the chance to look at the college football playoff picture right now, it's ESPN put it up, and I think it's the first, isn't it the first one they've had so far?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, and speaking about that too, can let me share the top. Let me share the top 25 right now. So, or let me do the top 12 to just show people who's in the top 12 right now. So, number one, you got Oregon, who's still undefeated. You got Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Indiana, BYU, Notre Dame, Alabama, and then Boise State. So, as of if the playoffs started right now, those are the 12 teams that would get in.
Do you agree with all those?
Yeah, yeah. And how surprising is it that Notre Dame, they were a team who lost to NIU in week 2, and now they're back in the dang playoffs.
Dude, they've gotten real
Crazy.
lucky with their schedule. The Navy game's gonna look good on their resume. The A&M game looks really great. They got some like really good looking wins on their resume just because of the teams. The teams
Yeah.
were better than they thought we were.
Right. Yeah. That's right. So then the first two who would be out of the playoff, it would be SMU, ironically, and then Texas A&M, and then at 15 you have LSU. Ole Miss is 16th, Iowa State 17th, Pittsburgh after that loss to SMU, they are now 18th. Kansas State is 19th. Colorado's 20th. Washington State's 21. And then Louisville 22, Clemson 23, Missouri 20. I'm surprised Missouri's still ranked, honestly. And then Army is number 25.
The committee hates Army.
And they apparently love Missouri.
The committee just hates Army, bro. But I think most of those rankings are pretty fair.
Yeah.
So far, at least in this point in the process.
Right.
Well,
And I believe in the playoff start. So the rankings 1 through 4, those are going to change because the 1 through 4 rankings are going to be for the teams who are conference champions, I believe. So whatever ranking they are right now, that's going to change depending on who wins their conference. So
of course.
Yeah, so let's say if either Georgia played Texas or if A&M were to slide in because they're still in the mix, whoever would win that game would be probably number one, or number two, somewhere around those lines, you know. And then same thing for the Big 12, ACC, all the Power Five conferences.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
I think in ACC SMU can steal that. Could cause some real chaos with that at large bid.
They probably could. Yeah.
They can beat Miami. I think they can beat Miami. Um,
Yeah.
with everything else going on, and just I think there's a really solid chance that SMU can cause some chaos. I think. What are some other teams you think that can cause chaos?
Um, I think Ole Miss is climbing back into things.
I think, yeah, with Jackson Dart trending upwards, I think they can definitely cause some problems.
Yeah. Well, and they're 7-2. So, and remember, this format now could potentially, well, it most likely will allow maybe a couple of two-loss teams to get into that playoff conversation, and maybe a team who has three losses, but those three losses are, you know, not bad losses. They could sneak in. Maybe one or two could sneak in. You don't know.
Yeah, I think even three can get in with
Yeah.
how much chaos that can go on. I
Right.
think I think Notre Dame can lose a lot of games. Like can lose at least. I think Notre Dame's gonna get in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
no,
do too.
almost no matter what, unless they're four losses. Um, but Notre Dame is one of those teams that the committee just absolutely adores year after year.
Mm-hmm.
You see how many times they've gotten in the playoffs the past couple of years when it's just a
Yeah.
fourth team, and they
Yeah.
just get blown out by Alabama. But
Yeah. Well, and then another team, or actually two teams. So Kansas State, to me, if obviously they lost last week, but they've been having a really good year so far. I think they're a sleeper team, and then I think Colorado. Last year they finished 4-8 on the year, didn't have a winning record, didn't go to a bowl game, and now they're 6-2. And it seems like they've been picking up momentum the past couple of weeks, and I think they have a fair shot potentially at a Big 12 championship appearance, maybe potentially, depending
yeah,
on what the conference looks like right now.
yeah, they could definitely make some noise.
Yeah, certainly.
Colorado's definitely a team in that mix right there. For a lot of the season, people thought they would just be a bowl game, 6-6 type of a team, but they have definitely surprised me.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
um, Deion Sanders has changed everything,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
he's brought a certain swagger to college football we haven't had in a long time.
yeah. That's a good thing.
Swagger's a great thing for the sport.
Yeah. And also, don't sleep on LSU.
Mm-mm. Can't sleep.
LSU can still very well make it in there. They have Alabama this weekend, which will be a huge game. It's going to
Yeah,
be
we'll be
at
talking about
LSU.
that.
It'll be in Death Valley. We'll talk about that next time, but that'll be a huge game. But LSU, they're still in the thing. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, is still maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC right now. They're still in that thing.
Yeah. Of course. That's certainly interesting.
Right.
Um, Playoff race still wide open for anybody. Any team with less than just one loss, maybe one loss, two loss,
Right.
run the board. You could get in,
Yeah.
especially if you're in a Power Five conference right now. So, if you're a fan out there just losing hope on the season, don't.
Don't no, because there's still a whole lot of football. I mean, we saw a couple of weekends ago when dang Vanderbilt beat Alabama and then Arkansas beat Tennessee. I mean, you never know what's going to
Like
happen.
even Vandy could probably cause some. I mean, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they could definitely stir some things up.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Speaking of which, we haven't gone over this yet. Your Baylor Bears won in overtime at home.
No, not in overtime. Last
Or
second walk off field
second
goal.
field goal. Yeah, sorry. I thought Baylor would need an extra quarter to get it done, but no. How about that?
Yeah, Central Texas native Bryson Washington from Franklin, Texas,
Yeah.
rushed for 198 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win over TCU.
How about that?
It's kind of strange. Baylor's starting to win football games, and we lost a basketball game really bad last night. Um, maybe the tides are turning here in Waco.
It looks like it. I mean, weren't y'all 2-4 to begin the year?
Yeah, we won 3 straight. It's been
Yeah.
sort of strange. We sort of beat up on all these other teams.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
y'all just need one game to get to a bowl game.
I mean,
Last last year, I mean, you've almost doubled your win total from last year.
jubilation, jubilation in Waco right now.
Awesome.
Absolute jubilation. They stormed the field too, which is
I did. Yeah, I saw that. Round of applause for that.
don't even get me started on that. Don't
That's funny.
even like it's unnecessary. Like I said in that one reel, it is completely unnecessary.
Hey,
It's going. The field stormings are going crazy this year.
I know. Well, and the South Carolina game against A&M, did you see how they destroyed the bushes? You know how South Carolina has those like bushes in front of the stands or on the field by the goalposts? They got completely destroyed. I think they had to replace them.
Oops, sorry.
What's
That
up?
was a little weird. No, no, no. The thing started to play. Oops.
Oh,
So my bad.
very good.
So I was just paused the live on Facebook, so let's get that going back up again. Um, so we're good, back to normal. Sorry about that. Something scared me. It's not Halloween anymore, though.
Bro. Bro.
And since this is our first live episode, if any of the fans of this podcast, which I know is few, um, want to chime in and ask a question with me or Drew, feel free to ask a question.
Yeah,
I mean, we're just chilling right now, so I mean,
we'll try not to embarrass you.
no, we'll try not to embarrass anybody. I already got one comment from one of my friends. On the live chat, it says Ethan Goat.
Yeah,
So isn't that interesting?
let's go.
Otherwise than that, I do not see a whole lot of people, just
Yeah,
in the live in general. But you got to experiment. You got to take risks.
you just gotta let them keep them coming.
Yep.
You just gotta let them see it, see the best.
And there's plenty of things to talk about pertaining in college football. The Heisman race. What do you
Yeah,
think about the World Series?
the World Series.
This question I just got. Um, Me in particular, I have nothing against the Dodgers and the Yankees. Both really good teams. I love the story of Freddie Freeman, and it's just an awesome story for the Dodgers to win the World Series. I don't have anything against the Dodgers. My grandpa was a huge Dodgers fan. He
Oh
would have
yeah.
been happy to see them win. So the World Series, my team wasn't in it, so I didn't care about it quite as much. But baseball's baseball, man. I love baseball. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Drew doesn't really entertain baseball, but
I mean, it's okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not. I don't know why I'm not that big in baseball, but you know.
well, it's something not everybody is enjoying. It's
Right. Yeah.
it's a very selective type of a sport,
Yeah. Everyone has their own thing, you know.
and it's
So speaking of which, so what did happen to Baylor basketball the other day?
we got beat by like 38
Golly.
by Gonzaga the other night.
Whew.
The game was at like 10:30. I was waiting all day for it just to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Except I did see a poor walk-on get posterized by one of our players, so that was a nice little pop.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a very great experience. I mean, I wasn't awake to see it because I didn't want to watch that
Yeah.
mess. But
Yeah.
something we haven't really visited on this live stream yet is the Heisman odds.
Yeah. So I have the list pulled up here. So currently right now, which I'm not shocked, Cam Ward, Miami quarterback, he's right now on top of the Heisman race. And then you've got Travis Hunter, and then you have Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon quarterback, and then Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty's really dropped a little bit. He's now fourth in the Heisman race. He was number one a couple of weeks ago with just blazing numbers. And then yeah, he's the last one right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that just shocking how far he dropped?
We even had a good game against San Diego State.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me that he has to put up 700 yards just to be in consideration.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just a question I got. Yes, Travis Hunter is definitely in consideration for Heisman. Definitely probably the favorite right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, well, right now I would say Cameron Ward would probably win the Heisman as of right now.
Travis Hunter's making quite the case for himself. He came with a Heisman flag on the back on his back at a college game day the other day.
Yeah.
He's really trying to advertise himself and brand himself to be this player.
Yeah.
Different world in NIL.
Yeah. Yep.
Certainly
Definitely.
gives you the opportunities to um be marketable, make yourself a marketable athlete. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
other players considered for the Heisman, it's really not any dark horse contenders at this point people
No.
start putting up unless we have a random quarterback like Jackson Dart putting up 500 yards every single week.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
that
and
happens.
well, and all these guys, I mean, they've just been consistent throughout the year. They haven't been, they haven't had a game where they were. Well, maybe they had a game where maybe they were a little bit off, but they've been consistent throughout the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, just consistent performances gets you there.
Mm-hmm.
Winning record gets you there. And just
Yeah.
being a good football player. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds kind of stupid saying good football player, but good football players figure out ways to help their teams win games no matter the circumstance.
Speaking of that, how about them Cowboys?
Delightful. Delightful. Delightful.
Dak
Uh,
Prescott out for a couple of weeks. About to say years. Out for a
several
couple of
weeks.
weeks. Yeah, hamstring.
Several weeks. And we traded for a receiver today.
Hey, at least we have Cooper Rush at backup.
Everybody's so excited for. I think everybody's just so excited for Cooper Rush because they're so tired of Dak.
Yeah. Well, and you also have Trey Lance, so it's not like
I'd love to start Trey Lance, but you
yeah,
know, good
yeah.
old Jerry Jones doesn't know what he's doing. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that right here, right now on the live. I don't care if I get canceled.
uh,
Cancel me! No, I'm just kidding. Um, I'm just kidding. Don't cancel me.
trying to call him out.
That
Like
would
some
not
people.
look good on my record, guys.
Yeah. You don't want to start out that way. You don't want to be
No,
on
no, 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 no. Not
Jerry's
the first
bad
live.
side.
Being canceled already.
I know. Yeah. We don't want that.
Getting canceled on the first live would be the craziest thing ever.
That'd be crazy.
Any
No
the
shame.
chat doesn't really have any crazy stories. I just got like 3 questions. It hasn't really been that active today.
Yeah.
And we were just experimenting with this. Maybe it's something y'all would want to see more.
Yeah.
I can obviously once I know we're gonna do it a day in advance, I can get it on freaking YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's being real stingy with their guidelines and stuff right now, and I sent it out to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I,
you posted it all over your social media too. So
yeah,
yeah,
and just figuring this out is, we're just having fun,
yeah.
and once you figure that out, you can have fun too.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy some content. Hey, do we
Uh,
have any more Q&A stuff?
I mean, not really right now. I'm not gonna talk about the election because I could offend some. Um, I could offend. I could offend some angry moms in the comments, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to offend any angry moms.
Nope.
Nope. Those angry moms could actually cancel me.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, unless the chat has any more groundbreaking information, I am going to probably shut this live stream down, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to our first live episode.
Let's
Um,
go.
hopefully we'll do this another time.
Yeah. Yep. Sure thing.
All right,
All right. See y'all later.
on and off.